Hey everyone, my name is Kevin. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, and had the opportunity to go on mission in 2018. So I'm just gonna go over my experience of why I went on mission, my experiences of it, and my key takeaways. So it was the summer of 2018. I was still in university at the time, and I was making plans for the summer for work terms, for other alternative plans. But as I was making these plans, I slowly saw these, nothing was working out. All these doors that I was, hoping to do that summer, things like jobs, internships, seemed to have been closed. And so that kind of got me thinking as to, hey, is there something else that God is calling me to this summer? Um, and so I brought everything to prayer, and I'd heard about three boys, Alvin, Stephen, and Phil, going on mission. And they were doing it in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, the Aboriginal reserves there. Um, so at the time, I wasn't really like going into the summer. By the way, I had no plans for mission whatsoever, and so in prayer, this kind of came up, and I kept thinking about it, as well as leaders training in Thailand after the mission, and both these doors just seemed to have opened while I brought it to prayer, talking to some of my counselors. Um, and overall I had peace in my heart about these decisions. So I decided to go on mission, and so the mission desk, who lead all missions here in Canada, sent a mission walk, which is basically a set of questions and reflections that helps you prepare for the mission. And so there were a lot of questions like, why are you going on mission? What inspired you? And most of my answers were like, oh, I want to give back to the community. I want to make a difference. All this time I've been receiving, now it's time to give back. And so that was my mindset, and I filled out the question. I sent it to the mission desk. And so shortly before the mission, I met with the mission director, or the person who was leading that specific mission of ours was Bob and Uncle. And we were talking about mission, and came up with like, hey Kevin, I just want you to know that mission is not for other people, it's for you. This kind of got me confused, because I was like, how can mission be for me? So after Bob and Uncle said this, I was like, it got me a bit confused as to how could the mission be for me? I'm serving, I'm there trying to inspire other people. So isn't mission for other people? But I just allowed this to kind of, think about what he said, ponder on these words, and had this in the back of my mind while I was on mission. And so being on mission, by the way, was an absolutely beautiful experience. Being with those boys, two of us, two were discerning the priesthood, and so just having discussions with them as to what called them to the priesthood, things their life experiences, their testimonies was so inspiring, and definitely still stayed in my heart today. Definitely inspired me a lot. And so why go on mission? It's very simple. It's when you're doing the work of God, it's somehow God is able to speak to you much more clearly in much more profound ways. Um, I mean, the two key examples that I usually use is Jesus. He usually steps away from the town he's in and with the people he's with to go and pray, and that's when he really feels presence of the Father the most. Um, there's also Moses. He left behind Israel at the base of Mount Sinai, and he went on to Mount Sinai for 40 days to receive the commandments. So he left everything behind, and then he went up and listened for God's voice, and that's when they heard it the most, both Jesus and Moses. Similarly, is when you go on mission, you leave behind everything, your family, your friends. It's for a short period of time, but because you left us behind and you're working for God, He speaks to you so much more clearly, and how He does that is so cool. It's like the people that I came across, the experiences that I had, was slowly like answering some of the questions in my mind, the things that I was discerning, and it's very cool. And so through these experiences, at the end of it, I kind of realized what Bob and Uncle was telling me. I went on mission for 2 weeks, by the way. So a 2 week mission is not really going to do much in terms of changing the whole Aboriginal community. People have dedicated their whole lives, their whole careers into bringing some sort of change into these. So there won't be anything significant that happens there. You might be maybe something that you said or did may plant seeds in some people, and God will grow this in their own time, in His own time. Um, but the more significant change that happened was definitely within me. And so I totally got at the end of the mission what Bob and Uncle was saying as to, you know, us being open to the will of God, us hearing this voice, our questions that are answered are all more profound and more significant rather than the change that we make there. And that experience in itself was beautiful. I had a lot of fun. It was great. Coming out of mission, right after that, I went to Thailand, and it was just overall a uh, good 1.5 months for me. I felt there's some really key things that I was just learning that I definitely had the answers to at the end of that 1.5 months. And yeah, so I would recommend any of you guys, if you guys are thinking about mission is absolutely beautiful. Talk to one of your spiritual counselors or guides in the area. Some of our Jesus Youth Mission Desk, and they'll guide you through the process. I 100% recommend it to anyone in university or any level, I guess. And yeah, praise God. I think that's it.